With the Lenovo Tab P11, Lenovo released quite an interesting lower and mid-range tablet. Depending on the accessories you want to use, it directly competes with the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 or the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. So which of these three tablets is better for who? I'm Henjay from mynexttablet.com, and that's what you will learn in this comparison. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm reviewing almost every tablet that gets released, no matter if it's released by Lenovo or by Samsung or by Apple, Microsoft and so on. A look at the prices is very interesting. Basically, the Lenovo Tab P11 is placed between the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite and the A7. But with the P11, you will have to buy all accessories separately. The S Pen is included with the S6 Lite. The build quality of the Lenovo Tab P11 and Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 is very similar. While their bodies are mostly metal, there are some plastic parts, but they do feel well made. The Galaxy Tab S6 Lite is more premium feeling because the transition from the body to the screen is much more elegant. With 7.5mm and 490 grams, the P11 is a bit thicker and heavier than the 7mm Samsung tablets. But it also is a bit bigger tablet in general, so that's to be expected. All three tablets have a USB-C 2.0 port and a microSD card slot. The Lenovo has an additional connector for a keyboard cover, but it's lacking a headphone jack, which the other two have. The Galaxy Tab A7 and Lenovo Tab P11 have 4 speakers and the sound quality is good and very similar. Even though the S6 Lite has 2 speakers only, it sounds a bit more pleasing overall. In some countries, Samsung actually does offer an official keyboard cover for the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite and even for the A7. They look interesting, but I haven't tried them yet. One is connected using the USB-C port of the S6 Lite, so you can't use that port at the same time. And the A7 one is just a Bluetooth keyboard, which you will have to charge separately. The one for the P11 is a traditional keyboard cover because the tablet has a separate connector just for it. So it does not block the USB-C port and it doesn't need Bluetooth either. That's the most elegant solution. It's a great keyboard and I like that it comes with a separate back cover that has a built-in kickstand, and that one works great without the keyboard as well. Let's get to the screens. Both Samsung tablets have a 10.4-inch LCD with a resolution of 2000 by 1200 pixels. The Lenovo is bigger at 11 inches, but it has the same 2000 by 1200 resolution. On paper, Samsung's are a tiny bit sharper, but in reality they are roughly equally sharp. The screens of the Lenovo Tab P11 and Galaxy Tab A7 are very similar. Both are a tiny bit bluish, with the P11 being a tiny bit brighter. The screen of the S6 Lite is the best one. White really looks white here. It's brighter and also more saturated. If you want to draw or write down handwritten notes with your tablets, forget about the Galaxy Tab A7 because it does not support an active pen. The Lenovo P11 and Samsung S6 Lite do support active pens, however. With the S6 Lite, the S Pen is included, but you will have to buy the Lenovo Precision Pen 2 separately for the P11. In some countries you might be able to get a bundle, of course. While the Lenovo Precision Pen 2 feels like the much better and also higher end pen, the S Pen performs better in practice. My handwriting looks clearer on the Samsung, and the S6 Lite has much more features that are tailored to the pen. A major highlight is the Samsung Notes app, which you can't get on other Android devices. Now, the Lenovo pen is not terrible, you can use it just fine, but if the pen is the most important feature for you, I would go with the S6 Lite. The Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 and Lenovo Tab P11 both feature the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 processor. While the A7 has 3GB of RAM and a 32 or 64GB storage, the P11 has 4GB or 6GB of RAM and 64GB or 128GB storage. Inside the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite sits an Exynos 9611 chipset with 4GB of RAM and a 64 or 128GB storage. Now, even though all three tablets have a microSD card slot, you can't use it to expand the internal storage on the Galaxy Tab A7. So keep that in mind when comparing prices. I've gotten the 32GB version, and even though I'm not even using it as my daily tablet, I wish I would have gotten 64. Benchmark results between the Lenovo Tab P11 and Galaxy Tab A7 are almost identical since they've got the same chipset. The bigger RAM doesn't make much of a difference here. And while the S6 Lite is not that much faster, it does have a better graphics performance. That is very noticeable when gaming. While the P11 and A7 both run PUBG Mobile with balanced graphics settings, you can set it to HD and HDR on the S6 Lite. And that goes for Fortnite as well. Both cheaper tablets can kind of handle it with the lowest settings. It doesn't look great, and you certainly will encounter stutters, that's for sure, but I did manage a victory despite that. I wouldn't recommend them as a Fortnite tablet though. It's more fun on the S6 Lite because here you can play pretty well with medium settings. High graphics are supported too, but then you will have to live with more stutters. With other tasks like browsing the web, watching YouTube and using Office apps, I can't see a real difference between the P11 and S6 Lite. The A7 does seem to be a bit slower though, which also might be because it has the smallest RAM. All three tablets are running Android 10 out of the box. Samsung promises to update the S6 Lite for 3 years, and it did get the Android 11 update already. In the past, Tab A tablets have gotten 2 updates, so Samsung is pretty good regarding that. I can't say that about Lenovo though. In the past they often released 1 update, sometimes none, and I can't remember 2 major version updates recently. If you like vanilla Android, you will be much better off with the Lenovo though. There are some custom features, but the interface is not as heavy as Samsung's. I like it because the pre-installed apps are the Google ones for the most part. Both the P11 and S6 Lite have a desktop mode. Once you activate them, you can navigate Android much easier using a mouse and keyboard. That works great on both. However, unlike the pricier brothers like the P11 Pro or the Galaxy Tab S7, you can't connect external monitors here using the USB-C port. So it's a nice feature if you're using a keyboard cover, but I don't think anyone will replace their desktop machine with either of them. The A7 does not have a desktop mode. Most interesting are the customizations for the S Pen of the S6 Lite. The Air commands offer lots of features, and there's the screen off memo feature, which is great. Lenovo has some third-party apps pre-installed only, and you can get them inside the Play Store anyway. In my standard battery test, these 3 get very similar results, ranging from 6.5 to 7.5 hours, so the differences are very small. For that test, I'm always looping in HD video at maximum brightness on YouTube. So, which tablet is the better one? Well, as usual, it depends on what you're looking for. If the pen and performance are the most important features for you, I think the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite is the clear winner. Its screen is a bit better too, and Samsung promises long updates. But if you prefer more vanilla Android and want a great keyboard cover, the P11 is the better one for you. I also love the storage options here, and you can expand that easily with a microSD if you need even more. The Galaxy Tab A7 is last, but that's not surprising since it's the cheapest. I still think that the value is very good, and it actually does handle Fortnite better now than when I first reviewed it. But you probably will want to get the 64GB version. And remember, it does not support an active pen. Alright, that's the end of my comparison between the Lenovo Tab P11 and the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite and the A7. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down below. I'm Anjay from mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.